You know, on one hand, I get it. It can seem like Heavy's kind of brainless. You just stand there and farm kills, just being a mobile sentry. And next thing you know, you have a 10 kill streak doing absolutely nothing worth of skill. Well, it's time to shed some light on our Heavy friend in the next episode of... Now, in order to properly defend the Heavy, let's bring up our main points. One of them being, it's hard for Heavy to force his engagements. Heavy is a relatively slow class in nature, having the lowest run speed out of all the classes and the least mobility options, making it difficult for him to actually engage you. You can aggress him whenever you want to, although it might not be the most optimal time to engage him in certain scenarios. You still can aggress him when you want, because he does not have the option of running away because he is slower than you. And the final one being, it's hard for him to keep up in a fast-paced game like Team Fortress 2. So much classes have so much mobility options, it's running rapidly, games go really fast, usually they do. And in a scenario or situation like that, Heavy can be found a little lacking in some cases.
You'll never hit me!
Let's start with my first point, being it's hard for Heavy to force his engagements. Heavy is the slowest class in Team Fortress 2. He is outsped and outran by literally every class in the game, especially run speed wise. See, even the second slowest class in the game, the Soldier, has mobility options that allows him to keep up in the fight with his rocket jumps. Heavy has a mild speed boost that he can get from pulling his gloves out that lowers his HP, and that's pretty much it. See, this is why it's always been hard for Heavy to secure kills, unless the enemy is already pushed up enough for him to secure that kill. It's because he can't push for the kill at all. He's too slow to keep up with everybody else. See, if a scout sees a Heavy trying to kill him after the Heavy turns a corner with his minigun, all the scout has to do is run away. The only time the kills will be secured is that if the area that the Heavy chooses to aggress has escape options that are too far away, too distant, or just unsafe, and the Heavy can still kill people trying to escape, regardless of them being faster than him. This can be most likely found in long choke points, maybe payload maps. Those are areas that Heavy can excel in, but these are situational, limits Heavy to a style of play, and it makes him very, very one-dimensional, because everybody else is always going to have that edge over him. If a Heavy is about to aggress, all you gotta do is run away. Keeping awareness of the Heavy's location, his minigun sound, bullets firing, his voice lines, anything like that is just enough for you to be aware of his presence, to expect his aggression, and to automatically avoid it, making it pretty easy to deal with the Heavy. Now, let's talk about the next point. You can aggress him when you want to. It's the same thing for vice versa. Since it's hard for the Heavy to force his engagements because it's slow, it's also easy for you to aggress him when you want to because he is slow. That mobility has a heavy effect, no pun intended, on how you should play the class, because his mobility sets it to a point to where you have to heavily play off your positioning. You can't just do whatever you want. You can't just go into the enemy lines and kill people. You can't just run away and expect to not get chased down because, well, every class is faster than you. Which is why it's important as Heavy to position yourself in the correct areas as to where you're getting full use out of your HP, your damage potential, your ability to defend and slightly aggress certain areas and chokes and objectives. Because what makes Heavy good
isn't his ability to aggress people and ability to run away. Those are his weak points. Every class has their strengths and their weaknesses. That's what makes each class fair, and that's what makes Heavy fairer than others, is that fact that he has to rely on his positioning.
And my last and final point being, it's hard for the Heavy to keep up in a fast-paced game like Team Fortress 2. Plenty of classes have plenty of mobility options to constantly keep up with others, right? Keep up in terms of mobility, also while being able to deal a great amount of damage. Classes like the Scout with an extreme run speed and 1v1 potential. Soldier, a huge damage output. He has the ability to rocket jump. Demo, he can sticky jump, and he's an insane class. He's really good. Demo's like, people constantly underestimate how good he is. And Pyro, he can flare jump, he can reflect projectiles from some of the best classes in the game, while also being able to have a shotgun as a secondary that can two-shot people. So much classes have the ability to keep up in terms mobility-wise, while also packing damage. Now Heavy fills the box with damage, right? Heavy can mow down people that are in his line of sight in medium to close range. But here's the thing with the Heavy. He doesn't fill that mobility box. What all the great classes in TF2 shine in is both damage and mobility, but Heavy doesn't have mobility. Heavy has positioning. That's why Heavy's so different in terms of others. And I think Heavy is a relatively easy class to play, but when it comes to mastering the Heavy, it's really hard. It can be hard, right? Because you have to position yourself correctly in every scenario. And if you're against good players, you will be punished every single time for playing your cards incorrectly, which is why it's one of his weaknesses. It's one of his weaknesses, why he's fair. He can't keep up with the others. They're too fast. But that's also part of what makes him fair. And I'm not saying Heavy's a bad class. He definitely has his strengths, but he's definitely not OP either.
You cannot beat me!
And now for our summary of everything. Overall, it's hard for Heavy to force his engagements because he's slow, and the same thing is valid vice versa. You can easily aggress him when you want to because he is slow. This makes him heavily rely on positioning to be good, and it's hard for him to keep up in a fast-paced game like TF2, where so much classes have the ability to be fast while being able to pack their own punch. Heavy can pack his own punch, but he relies on positioning rather than mobility, thus making him fair. Hey guys, and thank you so much for watching this video. I'm coming back into content creation. I quit for 6 months because I was experiencing burnout from Team Fortress 2. I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals recently. I might make some content on that someday. But for now, we're just doing Team Fortress 2. Thank you so much. We're at slightly over 70 subscribers now, and I wasn't expecting to get over 100 views on that video because my video before that didn't perform too well, and I thought it was because, man, I haven't uploaded in so long. That's why I did so bad on that video. So I'm surprised with the performance of that, and I'd just like to say thank you so much. Make sure to drink some water, stay hydrated, and have a good day.